Welcome back to 6.3, where we're dealing with periodic trends, and our discussion right now is focusing on ionization energies. How much energy does it take to remove electrons from atoms? And there are 2 points that we want to make before we take a look at the periodic trend. And so I'm going to do this in, let's say, black. All right. Number 1, it gets harder or takes more energy to remove each additional electron. Every time you want to remove an electron, it takes more energy than the previous electron did. All right, that's one observation. Number 2, there's a large jump in ionization energy, or a large increase in ionization energy. I'm going to abbreviate it IE, between electrons in outer energy levels and electrons in the inner energy levels. All right. Again, that's why there's a big jump between the first and the second ionization energies of sodium, and again, you actually see the same trend with potassium. Now, if you look at calcium, calcium has 2 electrons in the outer energy level, but when you want to remove the third electron, that third electron is coming from an inner energy level, and it's about 4 to 5 times the amount of energy as the previous electron. So there's always going to be a jump in energy, but as soon as you're removing an inner energy level, you get a big jump in energy required to remove that electron. All right, now moving down. So what are the periodic trends dealing with ionization energy? This all goes back to the strength of the nucleus. As you go from left to right across the periodic table, I'm going to switch back to red here. As you go from left to right across the periodic table, the nucleus gets stronger. That's why the atom actually shrinks. Well, because the nucleus gets stronger, notice as you go from lithium to neon, it gets harder and harder to remove the electrons. So ionization energy is going to increase. All right? But as soon as you start a new row, as you go from lithium down to sodium, to potassium, to rubidium, to cesium, as you go down the periodic table, ionization energy is going to decrease. Why? It's decreasing because electrons are further from the nucleus. And because they're further from the nucleus, they're easier to remove. All right. So again, from left to right, it gets harder to remove and requires more energy because the nuclei get stronger. But as you go down the periodic table in any group, the ionization energy decreases because the electrons are simply further away from the nucleus. All right. In the next podcast, scrolling down here, in the next podcast, we're going to take a look at electronegativity. We'll see you at the next podcast.